It's story time. Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to imagination's end. Through song and laugh, there's lots of learning. The fun never ends. It's story time. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm Mrs. Allie from the Naples Library here in the children's room, and I'm here to offer you your story time of the week. Welcome back, everybody. So if you saw the story time on Wednesday, then you would know that this week's theme is sound. Do you remember or do you know what sound is? Well, let me kind of explain it. So I have a handy dandy instrument here. This is called a music maker. That's literally what it's called on the box. And the music maker is going to help me demonstrate to you how sound works. So sound is actually a vibration. And I'll show you here. When I pluck this string, watch it. Did you see that? Look up close. You see how that string is moving really, really fast back and forth? So fast it's almost blurry, right? Well, sound is caused by vibration. So it's very out of key. So when something vibrates, the air around it vibrates and it carries the sound from the source, which is, for right here, it's the string is the source. But when you're talking, it's your voice box. So it carries the sound from the source to your ear. Isn't that cool? That's how sound works. And almost everything that exists has a sound at some point in time. Even things like falling leaves. They crash together, and when they crash together, they make a vibration too. And that goes out into the air and ends up in your ear. So even falling leaves make a sound eventually. Isn't that cool? Well, that's how sound works. And today's story time is all about sound. And I've prepared 3 books for us today that are all about sound. Not only are they about sound, but they're about how sound travels, right? Like what we just learned, which is really, really cool. They're really great books. So here, we'll start here in the very beginning with our first storybook today. This book is called A Fox Found a Box by Jed Adamson. And this is a Penguin Random House book. It's published by Penguin Random House. I'm going to move you a little closer so you can see the pictures that much better. Kind of far away today, aren't you? There, that's better. All right. A fox found a box. Here we are with a little fox. Fox was searching, jumping around. Somewhere under the snow there was food, and to find it he had to dive in. So he hopped up above the snow and dove down in. Again and again. Ouch! He bumped into something. Whoa, this didn't look like food at all. What does that look like to you? He pulls it out of the snow. But what was it? What is that? Can you tell what that is? Let's find out. Nobody seemed to know. I think it's a box, said Owl. There was a stick on top that moved. There were round things on it that looked interesting. What if I just touched one of those round things and turned it a little bit? Click! The box is singing, chirped the birds. Look at that, the box is making music. Do you know what kind of thing, electronic thing makes music and sound? A radio. What's that stick on the top of that radio? That's an antenna. Antenna. And they make sound. Like the radio in the car, only this is just a radio without a car. The animals began to swish their tails, flap their wings, and move their feet to the beat. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. It felt nice. So when you start to swish your tail and flap your wings and move your feet to the bup-bup beat, what's that called? Dancing. Everybody's dancing to the music from the music box. The radio. Every day they would listen to the box. They loved it. Sometimes the music made them feel dreamy. Some music sounds dreamy, doesn't it? That's the cool thing about music, because sometimes it can sound dreamy. Sometimes it's so sad. Music can make you feel sad. Music can also make you rock out. Sometimes it made them want to rock out. Totally, yeah, woo. Which is also so much fun, right? And every night, the box's music filled the forest. You could hear it for miles and miles. Until one morning, the box stopped singing. Oh no, what's wrong? The animals poked it. Fox tried burying it and digging it up again. How do I make this thing work? Oh man. He thought that maybe the box was too cold, so he tried warming it up. What do you think is wrong with the box? Maybe it ran out of batteries. Nothing would make the box sing again. The animals did not know how to make it sing again. Then something happened. Can you see? Let's just go back one page here. Can you see what's happening from the tree branches here? Can you see little drops of water here dripping from the tree branches? Drip, 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 says the tree. And something happened. Fox heard a sound. It went drip, drop, drip, drop. His ears twitched and his tail swished. Drip, drop, drip, drop. One paw tapped, then the other. Drip, drop, drip, drop. Fox's whole body moved to that drip, drop beat. Drip, drop, drip, drop. Now the other animals heard the forest too. The whoosh, 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 whoosh of the wind. The chitter-chatter, 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 chitter-chatter of geese. The crunch, crunch, crunch of snow underfoot. And the gurgle, 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 gurgle of the river. There are sounds everywhere. There's music everywhere, and they're hearing it for the first time since the box. They started to notice everything. The smell of pine trees, the falling snow, the beautiful view. That box started to make them pay attention. And every night, the animals would nestle down, close their eyes, and let the forest sing them to sleep. Drip, drop, drip, drop. It felt nice. The end. So, the box inspired all of the animals to hear the sounds around them. And when they were able to hear those sounds around them, they didn't even need the box because they realized music is everywhere. Okay, our second book. I love this book so much. This book is called The Rooster Who Would Not Be Quiet. It's by Carmen Agradidi, and it's published by Scholastic Books. Let's see how sound is used in this book. Once there was a village where the streets rang with song from morning till night. A very noisy village indeed. Can you see what these fields are made of? Can you recognize these symbols? These are music notes. Dogs bayed, mothers crooned, engines hummed, fountains warbled, 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 and everybody sang in the shower in this town. Look at all of these things making noise. Here's a car with bells on top, making lots of noise. A little boy with a drum. A donkey saying, "Wee-sna!" Here's a whole band up here. There's a guy with a megaphone, lots of singing people, singing people, singing people. Everybody's singing. This guy's singing in the shower. Lots of noise happening in this town. Everyone and everything had a song to sing. This made the village of La Paz a very noisy place. It was hard to hear. It was hard to sleep. It was hard to think, and no one knew what to do about it. So they fired the mayor, of course, because that's how you solve all problems. Not. Now they were a very, very noisy village without a mayor. So they held an election with voting. Only Don Pepe promised peace and quiet, and he won by a landslide. Everybody voted for him because they wanted a quiet town. The next day, a very polite law appeared on the village square. It said, "No loud singing in public, por favor." Por favor is Spanish for please. No loud singing in public, please. Things were getting better already. Even the tea kettle. But more laws soon followed. No loud singing at home. No loud singing. No singing. Basta! Be quiet already. Until finally, the noisy village of La Paz was silent as a tomb. No one made a peep. Even the tea kettles were afraid to whistle. Some people left the village, singing loudly. Others stayed behind and learned to hum. The rest were just grateful to have a good night's sleep, for crying out loud. What would you do if you were told that you can't sing in Naples? Would you want to leave Naples, Would you want to stay in Naples? What would you want to do? 7 very quiet years passed. Then one evening, a saucy gallito, which is a rooster, and his family wandered back into the village and roosted in a fragrant mango tree. Mangoes are a kind of fruit. When the little rooster awoke the next morning, he did what roosters were born to do. He sang, "Creak-creak-creak-cree," said the rooster, because that's what roosters say. And as rotten luck would have it, the mango tree was right below the cranky mayor's window. Uh-oh.
Hey, you there!
Groused Don Pepe.
No singing, it's the law.
Well, that's a silly law, said the very merry Gallito. Smell this sweet mango tree. How can I keep from singing?
Humph! Then I'll chop down that stinky tree,
huffed Don Pepe.
Will you sing then?
The plucky Gallito shrugged. I may sing a less cheerful song, but I will sing. And he did. Creak-creak-creak, said the rooster. Still singing? Snapped Don Pepe.
You have no tree, remember?
I have no tree, said the Gallito, but I have my hen and chicks. How can I keep from singing?
Will you sing if I throw you in a cage? Alone?
Threatened Don Pepe. I may sing a lonelier song, said the stubborn Gallito, but I will sing. And he did. Oh my goodness. Why are you singing now? Growled Don Pepe. You have no hen and chicks. No hen and chicks, the Gallito sighed. But I still have corn to eat. How could I keep from singing?
And if you have no corn?
Asked the mayor. I may sing a hungrier song, said the Gallito, but I will still sing. And he did, even though he was hungry. Aren't you hungry, you crazy bird? Wailed Don Pepe. Claro, of course, said the Gallito. But if the sun can still shine despite the world's troubles, how can I keep from singing?
And if you never see the sun again?
Snarled the mayor, and he ran for a blanket to cover the rooster's cage. I may sing a darker song, said the brave Gallito, but I will sing. And he did. He said in the darkness in a cage by himself. And as the Gallito's song echoed down the soundless streets of La Paz, it stirred an old familiar longing for a time when everyone and everything still had a song to sing. He sang over and over and over. The people started opening their windows once more. And that poor old Don Pepe, well, singing gave him indigestion. Oh, his stomach hurt. The next day, Don Pepe stumbled out into the yard in his nightshirt. He tore away the blanket and pleaded, "You have no tree to roost in. You have no hen and chicks to comfort you. You have no grain to fill your belly, no sun to drive away the shadows. Why, oh, why are you still singing? Please stop, and I will set you free," he begged. Why do you think that rooster is still singing? One by one, a quiet crowd began to gather in Don Pepe's yard. "I sing for those who dare not sing," said the rooster, "or have forgotten how. If I must sing for them as well, Señor, how can I keep from singing?" Wow.
"And if I have you made into a soup," the mayor thundered, "I suppose you'll still sing if you're dead?"
Oh my gosh. The entire village held its breath, waiting for the gallito's reply. "Dead roosters sing no songs," he said. "Ha!" crowed Don Pepe, sure he had won now. But a song is louder than one noisy little rooster and stronger than one bully of a mayor, said the gallito, "and it will never die so long as there is someone to sing it." And there was. Because the whole town stood up for the rooster and his singing. And they drove that mayor out of town. Once again, there was a village where the streets rang with song from morning until night, and this made for a very noisy place to live. And that's just the way everyone liked it. The end. So because the rooster kept singing for all those who dared not sing, everybody was again able to sing. Isn't that amazing? All right, one more book today. I'll try to do it a little quickly. I know that we're creeping up on time here. This book is called Because by Mo Willems, and this is published by Hyperion Books. You can see that this book is also about sound and music. We start the book with one thing, and we end up with something else. I love books like this. Because a man named Ludwig wrote beautiful music a long time ago, a man named Franz was inspired to create his own when he heard it. Because many years later, people wanted to hear Franz's beautiful music, they formed an orchestra. An orchestra is when people come together with lots of different instruments and they play music all together with like 30 people. It's amazing. Because a man had practiced since he was a kid, he was asked to join the orchestra. Because a woman studied night and day, she too was asked to play. What is she playing here? Do you know what instrument that is? It's a drum. Bum, bum, bum on the drum, drum, drum. Because many others loved and practiced their instruments, there were enough musicians. Because someone created a poster about Franz's music, tickets were sold. And because the train conductor stopped the train at the Grand Concert Hall, the orchestra conductor arrived. Because the orchestra librarian had copies of the music, see, she's handing out copies to everyone, the orchestra rehearsed because she brought the copies. Because the workers checked the lights and the seats and they swept the floors, the grand hall was ready. Because the time had come, the ushers opened the doors. It's time for the orchestra to perform. Because someone's uncle had caught a cold, he couldn't go to the concert. So someone's aunt had an extra ticket for someone very special. Because the usher helped the aunt and her special guest, they were able to find their seats. Because everyone was there to hear beautiful music, it was quiet. Shh, the show's about to start. And this is an orchestra. Look at how many instruments there are. All shapes and sizes, aren't there? Every single person in this makes their own music, and they all make it together, and it sounds so beautiful. And although books can't tell you how it sounds because they're just pages, this does a pretty good job. Look how beautiful that sound is coming from all those people. In row C, seat 14, sat the girl with the uncle's ticket. She heard the beautiful music written by the man named Franz, and it changed her. Wow, it was so beautiful that the girl was changed. See that? She's got music coming out of her. From that moment on, the girl learned everything she could about music. Look at her, she's teaching her stuffed animals how to play. Do you ever do that? Soon she started to write music too. Here she is in her bedroom. Here she is with, what instrument is that? A piano. What instrument is this? This is a violin. And what instrument is she playing here? She's playing a flute. Because like Franz, the young woman had something to share. She had to share her beautiful music. And look, when she starts, she just has like a little sprout-like plant. And then can we follow? Can you follow on the screen? Look what it starts to grow into. The music is growing into beautiful plants and flowers to represent how much better she's getting when she practices. Over time, the woman became very good because she worked very hard. And one night, her music was discovered because she was also very lucky. Look, she is now conducting an orchestra. Do you see that? She's now leading the way. Then she was invited to perform her music at the Grand Concert Hall because so many people wanted to hear it. Her composition was dedicated to the uncle in row C, seat 14, because it was his ticket that brought her here. See how that happens? And that night, someone else was changed. Look, there's a little boy who's changed by this music. That's how it happens. You are changed, and then you can change others. All right, friends, thank you so much for coming to Storytime today. I'm going to wrap it up now. I hope that you enjoyed our week of sounds. And I hope that you tune in next week for our week all about grapes. I know this year we don't have the grape festival, but we can still celebrate grapes, can't we? I hope that you have an excellent rest of your day, a lovely weekend, and I'll see you on Wednesday for the fun, interactive storytime snippet. Have a good one, everybody. See you later.